Hi, welcome. In this video we're going to take a look at how to find the mean and standard deviation of group data. It's a little bit different than if you have just plain raw data. For example, in this example we're going to look at the lower and the upper limits of spelling there, of a sample of speeds of vehicle on a given road. We've checked these out and we've gotten 25 people traveling between 42 and 45 miles an hour, 14 between 46 and 49, and so on. Since we don't know the exact speed of each vehicle, we just know that we have grouped them. What we need is a number to represent that class, and we pick that number as the midpoint. Now sometimes you'll see it picked as the upper class limit, other times as the midpoint, but in general midpoint is a good choice. So we type equals, and in parentheses, since we need to add before we do anything else, we are going to add the two upper and lower class limits together and then divide by 2. That'll give us the average. And so we have a midpoint for each class. Now if that's the value, then in order to know how many we have altogether, we have to multiply the weight, which is the frequency, times the number that represents that class. So the next column is going to be x times the frequency, x being the midpoint here. So we multiply, we say equals, and we take the midpoint now times the frequency, and again we copy. So now we have the weighted sum, which is 2,390. We have 50 for the frequency, and so therefore if we take 2,339 and divide it by 50, we will get x bar, which is the mean. The next is to find the deviation, the variance in deviation. And so we'll start with taking x, which is our midpoint, equals x minus the x bar, which is 46.78. And we will again copy down so that we have it calculated for each of the classes. The next piece of the formula is to square this number in this column F. And so we take equals column F raised to the second power, and we have those numbers. Now in order to get the variance, we have to take this number, the difference of x minus x bar squared, and we have to multiply it by how many we have of each one of these, which is our frequency. So we do equals the number that is in column G for that row times the frequency, which is in column D. And we get 269 for the first row, and so on. We find the sum of those, and we take our variance, and remember this is a sample, so we take the sum of the deviation squared times the frequency, and we divide it by whatever the total frequency is, in this case 50, minus 1. Always for samples it's n minus 1, not just divided by n for the variance. Standard deviation is then the square root. Now we do not have a data analysis tool for data that is already grouped. So if you're asked to do a grouped mean and standard deviation, this is the way to set it up and do it. Thank you.